Wake up. Stonecrest.
Learn about your city from neighbors who actually live there. Can you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you for having me. I'm very, very pleased to be here and excited. This is my first podcast, so hopefully this will come across very well. Again, as it was mentioned, my name is Kevin T. Edwards, and I live here in the Stonecrest development, or the Stonecrest city. I've been living here since the beginning, before the city actually came and became Stonecrest. I remember voting for the city of Stonecrest. I've been living here for about 22 years and living in the DeKalb County for over 30 years. I'm running for the city of Stonecrest because I see so many great potentials in this city. My original background is Panamanian. Se habla español. Mi madre es República de Panamá. And growing up in the United States and also being bilingual has been very beneficial. But it also opens my eyes to seeing so many different areas and avenues to actually deal with. My background is in product management, risk assessment, and fraud analysis. I work for several Fortune 500 corporations and the federal government. And the primary task there was to make sure that there weren't any risk or fraud on customers' program and platform. I would take those same abilities and strategies that I've used over the years, 15 some odd years doing that, and place that into making sure Stonecrest have full transparency. Stonecrest does not have any risk or fraud analysis. I am a person that don't listen to what other people say when they're talking negative. I'm a person that listen and say, why not? Let's move to the next level. Working and doing and serving for Stonecrest is my calling. I live here. I would love to see our city to be the next great city. When people say Stonecrest, I want them to say Stonecrest. I don't want them to say Stonecrest. So from that being said, 15 years in federal government and corporate, over 20 some odd years living here and seeing the city change and grow, and being on the outside and being able to communicate with others of what they want and how they see things happening will enable me to push for the issues and handle it, because I'm dealing with my constituents, which are me. We're dealing with one another. And if I make it, you make it. And if you make it, we all make it. Thank you.
What specific goals will you commit to achieving in your term, and how will residents be able to measure your success or hold you accountable if those goals are not met?
Well, this is a great question, and I wrote down some notes. Accountability starts with transparency and ends with measurable impact. I spent over 15 years in fraud strategy and risk management, where results weren't just expected, they were audited. As a council member, I will bring this same rigor to Stonecrest, setting clear goals, publishing performance metrics, and ensuring residents see real outcomes in infrastructure, youth programs, and economic development. Making sure that we utilize the tools that are already there. We already have a platform and a web page for Stonecrest. Why not enhance it and also incorporate what we are doing with the funds and how they're actually being distributed? As far as communicating, I will make sure that all my constituents will have the ability to communicate by either having quarterly meetings and having feedback, and to assure that these products or these procedures are actually handled correctly. We will have documentations of where we are to start and how we're going to end. And you will be able to track the progress of the performance of each task that are out there. That's how I make sure that my information and I'm held accountable for what is proposed or put forth.
Stonecrest is growing, but not all development benefits residents equally. What is your plan to attract reasonable development without increasing traffic, displacing long-term residents, or ignoring infrastructure needs?
Another great question. I wrote this down. Stonecrest has untapped potentials. I'll work hard to attract anchor employers while supporting local entrepreneurships through business incubators and great grant programs. My goal is to create a balanced ecosystem where legacy residents, young professionals, and talented individuals can all thrive together. I also will push for arts-driven revitalization and mixed-use development that brings life back to our corridors. The thing that we need to focus on is not only bringing in thriving businesses, but to make sure that our current residents have a good understanding of how we can actually improve our lifestyle. So many of us live here, but we don't have a say-so or don't have an understanding of what businesses will actually not only increase our property value, but also increase the way of life. Our life where we will not have to drive so far away for entertainment, for shopping, for even relaxation. To bring in businesses, we need to have major entrepreneurships and major businesses to anchor themselves here. I will work hard with the city, and not only the city, but the county on different projects and funding to attract new businesses here. Because once we get the strong businesses here, we'll be able to anchor other businesses. Always listen to your constituents. Ask the question. Don't tell them what to do. You ask them, what is it that you want? And how do you feel as though that this may improve your life?
What is your strategy to improve public safety and overall quality of life in Stonecrest beyond policing, including youth programs, mental health support, and community partnership?
That's a very great question. First of all, public safety is about more than responses. It's about prevention and trust. I'll work hard to expand youth mentorship programs, mental health outreach programs, and neighborhood watch programs. I also will support infrastructure upgrades like lighting, sidewalks, traffic calming, and to make our streets safer and more walkable. One key thing that people always mention is about safety and policing. But the only way that we can actually get at the root cause is to work with the youth to make sure that our youth have something to do. Mentorship, bringing in businesses and open up a center where entrepreneurship is pushed and given back to the youth so that they can have a better understanding that there is more to life than sports or musical entertainment. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to make sure that they have a good understanding of other avenues. Opening up parks, not just basketball, but opening up a tennis court where we can actually train the kids how to play tennis, or a golf putting range so we can actually change the minds of youth so that they can think in that direction. Opening up a tech center where we can train the kids from just gaming to creating games. And as far as the seniors are concerned, making sure that the seniors always have access. Opening up mentorships and neighborhood watch programs where we can have neighbors walk and work with the seniors and having entertainment in their aspect, making them part of the community, because guess what? We all going to get to be seniors one day, and we all would like to have the area that we live in very, very acceptable and rewarding, not only for the seniors, but for the current youth and also the middle-aged individuals that are there. So making Stonecrest safe is not just policing, it's working with the constituents from youth to seniors. Thank you.
How will you ensure transparency with the city budget, spending on major projects, and use of public funds so residents clearly see where their tax dollars are going?
Great question. As a fraud strategy professional, as I mentioned earlier, I have built systems that detect fraud and risk assessment. I will bring that same mindset to the city finances, pushing for open budgeting, quarterly dashboard reports, and community budget forums. Residents deserve to see why every dollar that goes into the budget, how it's working and how it works for them. Working in private industry and in the federal government, one of my key tasks was to design dashboards to show how budget was actually handled, not only for those that are working, but also for my superiors. One thing that I will definitely do is to make sure that transparency is there. When you keep the lines of communications open and your constituents have ability to question and ask, and if they don't have an understanding, have even a walkthrough training seminar to show how budget is actually received and how budget is actually spent and how it will actually benefit the community as a whole. Once people have an understanding of how we pull in information and the data and how it trickles out, less questions will be asked because they will feel comfortable knowing that the money that comes in is really bettering their lives and our lives as a whole. So transparency, definitely. Dashboard information, understanding what's there, and understanding why your constituents really need to know how the money is spent. Thank you.
Residents often feel decisions are made without them. How will you actively involve citizens, especially seniors, youth, and underserved areas in major decisions before votes are cast?
Well, as I mentioned, I'm not running to speak for the people. I'm running to amplify their voices. I'll host regular town halls, launch digital feedback platforms, and ensure every district has a representation and decision-making individual to let them know where they're going. Accessibility means showing up, listening, and making sure that you act upon what you said that you're going to do. Working along with the constituents, even before the election, even before the voting, to let them know that you exist, going to their house and talking to them, let them know what area that they're in. I've spoken with so many constituents that didn't even know that they were in District 3. They didn't even know who their city council are. One thing I would like to do, and what I'm doing now, is talking to my constituents, talking to them and letting them know that I'm here, I'm out on the ground working for you, working before I even get elected into this position so that you know who I am, so that I will be held accountable, so you would know my face, not just by a poster, but you met me. And I will continue that trend all the way over and when I'm elected as your representative. Knowing someone and talking to them face to face really makes a constituent feel at ease because they feel as though they know you. Meeting you face to face prior to the election is what I'm doing now. And for all those who I have not met, there's still several days out there. And hopefully at my next meet and greet, you will come and talk to me. That's what I would do to make sure that everyone feels that they have a seat at the table, whether you're seniors, youth, or in between the two. We can work together because when we work together, we will be stronger and we will be a force that no one else can break. Thank you.
Take a moment to address residents who feel that even though you've lived here for over 20 years, You haven't been visibly involved in Stonecrest until now, and question whether someone without proven public office experience or established relationships in city leadership can effectively step in and deliver results from this community from day one.
Well, first of all, I thank you all for bringing me here. And that surprise question really is not a surprise question, because everyone that's in government did not start in government. They started from somewhere. They started either from the private sector or they started from a federal government. So no one that's in office now actually came in office with backgrounds and working as a servant. I've worked in my fraternity. I've worked in servicing people and helping people and knowing my environment. Yes, I've lived in Stonecrest for a long period of time, but I've been visible in my church. I've been visible in my neighborhood. I've been visible not only in my community, but in other communities, helping in charitable work, helping in food programs. And because you don't see a person does not necessarily mean that that person is not doing the work. For those individuals who always want their faces in front, they're not really doing it just for the background. They're doing it to be seen. Sometimes it's the person that you don't see is the one that's worked the hardest. So you may not have seen me, but you don't realize how much work I've actually been doing behind the scenes. I love Stonecrest. I love the area that I live. And I would not be living here as long as I have if I did not appreciate where I live. I'm at a point where I need for change to happen. And living here this long and seeing things and talking on the outside of what I want done and going to meetings and saying, I need to this or I need for this, and it's been tabled, it's not going to change anything. The only way to make change is to step in and go behind the iron curtain and put your feet behind the pedal to get the work done. So I'm happy that that question came across. But before asking that question, you need to ask yourself, what have you done? And how many times have you been out there and overlooked and do the work and no one knows? Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for recognition? I'm not doing it for recognition. I'm a servant and we all are servants. So I'm out here working. So if you want the same status quo, if you're comfortable where you are right now, then continue to be where you are. But if you want new blood and you want something different and you want someone who actually has proven ability to work not only in corporate, but in federal, and don't want necessarily have their face out there, then you need somebody that's going to work for you as a whole and not work for themselves. I'm working for the people. So for that, that's the reason why I'm running for city council. Thank you.
Give us a last statement, Mr. Kevin T. Edwards, on why we should vote for you.
Great. I got my last closing and I appreciate it. I need to put on my glasses for this one. Okay. As I mentioned before, Stonecrest is more than just a place where I live. It's where I lead, it's where I serve, and it's where I actually dream. I'm running to restore trust, activate opportunities, and build a city that reflects all of us. From youth mentorship to fiscal transparency, I am committed to showing up, speaking the truth, and delivering results. I invite everyone, every resident, everyone that's in viewingship to walk with me on this journey and be part of this new awakening so that Stonecrest will be the great city of DeKalb. Not only the largest city in DeKalb, but one of the great cities of DeKalb. And if you believe in what I'm saying and you are tired of the same old status quo, then let's get on this boat and start shipping to a new level. The only way that we're going to make change is to change. So let's start now. And for that, I will honor and I will be totally grateful for you to vote Kevin T. Edwards. And if you have any questions, you can reach me on my webpage at www.electkevinTedwards.com. Thank you.
Thank you to listening to the Stonecrest Podcast Election Series for the City Council candidates. Remember to tell your neighbors, share this podcast with everyone you know, and listen to every single episode so that you can vote in the know. The Stonecrest Podcast.
Spreading awareness within our community.